This is Shared Accounts with CU Times. I'm Michael Ogden, editor-in-chief at that publication, CU Times. I don't speak French. I don't really understand French. Basically, I can say baguette or croissant, and then I'm out. I'm done. But the French do have a way with not only pastries, but phrases. For instance, this phrase, and I'm going to do my dumbest best at it. Here it goes. L'envers, c'est l'entrée. Now, I have no idea if I got that right, but roughly it means hell is other people. Why am I talking about this? Because it's what I think about as I've watched credit union branch employees skillfully deal with cranky or difficult members, or members are just having a tough time, and branch employees are doing their empathetic best. This month, our big topic is credit union branches, and today we're talking about redesigning, rethinking credit union branches and headquarters, all while empowering employees? How does that come together? You're going to find out as I speak with a chief experience officer you need to know. Coming up next. Welcome to Shared Accounts with CU Times. Joining me in the virtual studio today is Jennifer Kimmell, Senior Vice President and Chief Experience Officer with TruWest Credit Union, way out in Tempe, Arizona. Jennifer, bonjour. Welcome in.
Bonjour, Michael. It's lovely to join you this morning.
Love to have you. We're going to get into this more, but to set the scenes in a few words, how would you describe the task of relocating your headquarters as you just did?
I would describe it as relocating your large family with kids of all ages, from an infant to your high schoolers, bringing along your in-laws and any cousins that are looking to relocate into a new neighborhood, and getting that group together and collectively decide where they want to live.
Hilarious visual. Thank you for that. So excellent. Okay, credit union branches and headquarters. Let's jump in. Jennifer, TruWest Credit Union is a $1.7 billion CU with 90,000 plus members. How many branches do you all have? I want to make sure I get that right.
We actually have 11 branches. 8 of our branches are located throughout Phoenix with a focus on the East Valley in Phoenix. We do have one location on the west side of town, but then 3 of our branches are located in Austin, Texas.
Yes, Austin. Tequila, tacos, lovely city. As I mentioned earlier, TruWest just went through a massive undertaking, relocating your credit union headquarters. First, why? Why did you do that?
That's an excellent question. And honestly, it was out of necessity. We had a lease on our old space, and that lease was coming to an end. Our landlord had made a decision to sell that building. So it was the catalyst we needed to go searching for a new home for our credit union.
Okay, that makes sense. And honestly, that is happening all over the country with other credit unions too. So I want to dig into a bit more about moving your family and infants and cousins like you described. How did you pull that off?
It's a massive undertaking to move such a large family. And we also made a change in our workforce. So maybe a little bit about, our old footprint to our new footprint. Our old building was 2 stories and over 41,000 square feet, and it housed somewhere in the neighborhood of 175 employees. And this was all pre-COVID. We had a pretty robust work from home employee experience where 34% of our employees had some sort of a telecommuting component to their position. So before COVID, we had start to see some of our on-site employee presence take a decrease. Then, of course, COVID happens and we empty that building. It's during COVID that our lease is coming up, and the credit union has to decide, what are we going to do? Do we need 40,000 square feet across 2 floors? Do we need more space? Do we need less space? But a benefit of transitioning the credit union so rapidly to 100% work from home made sure that we knew we could do it. So we operated in that environment while making this decision. And it's because of that experience, we decided that we're going to lean into a work from home culture with a hybrid workforce. So that allowed us to reduce the square footage need for our new building. We went from 41,000 square feet down to 26,000 square feet. In our old building, it was our building exclusively. We didn't have to share anything with anybody. It was like you owned your own home. And in our new space, we have roommates. We're in a shared corporate complex. We have neighbors. And so it adds a bit of life to our space because of the roommate environment. They have parties sometimes and they bring their friends over. So it's actually created a livelier environment.
You know what? I love how you were describing things. We all used to live with roommates, I assume. They go on dates, they have parties, like you're talking about. I want to dig in a bit more to the how you pulled this off, because I do find this interesting. How many meetings would you say you had about just this one issue?
Oh, more than I could count. And we didn't do it alone. We partnered with several individuals and several teams to help us research, organize, and decide. So we started first with something that drives our credit union, and we don't do anything without our employees weighing in. So we started with our employees to survey our employees. What are their needs during the workday? And we surveyed everybody and we ranked out what's most important. And then we took a data driven approach to finding the house that we were going to move to. So we developed a heat map of every employee. Where do they live? And we wanted to find something central so that we didn't inconvenience the majority or a group of employees. So we actually ended up moving just maybe 5 miles from our old space to our new space. And it is precisely in the central quadrant of the heat map of all of our employees.
I love the granular way you took this on. That's really amazing.
Yeah, it was interesting, some of the survey results, because we really asked, like, what's most important for you when you go to work? And I have to say, I was surprised to learn that the most important thing to our employees was covered parking, an amenity that we did not have in the old building, but you bet your bottom dollar we have it in our new building.
Well, yeah, because in Tempe, your car is 300 degrees when you get into it in the summer. Let's stay on your employees for a little bit. As we mentioned at the top, part of the new headquarters redesign involved your employees and what they wanted and helped design, and covered parking is one. Can you elaborate even more on that?
Oh, I sure can. So, natural light and views was also at the top of our employees. They wanted access to windows and they wanted to have those really open spaces. In our old building, offices, traditional offices lined all of the windows, preventing natural light from flooding into our workspaces and our collaboration areas. And so we flipped that on its head for our new space, and we don't have a single office touch a window in our new space. The only things that go near windows are open workstations or collaboration spaces, touchdown areas, so that our entire building is now flooded with natural light.
Sounds lovely. And then their cars are covered when they're done with work. So, what is the vibe, would you say, of this new space?
Oh, the vibe is really, it's modern. It is open concept. It encourages collaboration and innovation with creativity throughout the space because we've designed it in neighborhoods. There are 4 distinct neighborhoods around the area, around the space. And each of those neighborhoods have informal meetings or these comfortable collaboration areas that have unique furniture pieces and decor that employees can gravitate to when they want to have an on the fly collaboration conversation. Of course, we have closed meeting rooms that are near the neighborhoods employees can schedule and have a more private meeting should that be an appropriate outlet for the conversation. And I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the partners that we worked with to design and to bring these spaces for life because, hey, we're credit union people. We had spreadsheets and analysis and data until the cows came home. But nobody has got experience as an architect. So we partnered with RSP Architects, and they came in and they listened to the research that we had completed, and they have to get credit for the design and the floor plan of our new home.
So from beginning to end of when you found out your lease was coming up, and that was during the pandemic, to now, so how many months are we talking about? Or 2 years?
Oh, yeah, a little over 2 years. A little over 2 years from when you start and we hit activate on find a new home till when we're opening and moving people into their bedrooms.
And I also want to kind of loop back to you said pre-pandemic you were about 30 something percent remote or hybrid, right?
Correct.
Okay, where are you now? So you went fully remote. Where is that percentage set now?
So we are well over 90% hybrid.
Okay.
We have a small number of employees that are on site full time to keep the lights on, and we've got mail to process and still checks that do come in. So we have some employees on site full time, but the vast majority works on a hybrid where they go into the corporate headquarters 1 day a week, 2 days a week. We really lean into our department leaders to make those decisions based on the needs of their team and the functions they provide for the credit union.
You have hit on it a little bit, and I wanted to talk about TruWest's, what you all call a distinctive culture. That's in quotes. What is that culture?
It is 1000% our commitment to employee engagement. And it is something we take very seriously from our CEO, who really championed this when he took over in 2015. It's been the cornerstone for us. And in 2016 is when we implemented the employee engagement surveys. Since 2016, we've done them annually. But when we started this employee engagement journey, our survey was in the low 30s and our turnover was also in the 30% range. And it is something that we have worked on diligently. And in 2023, we earned a 92% employee engagement satisfaction score. Our turnover is down to 10%, and our employee average tenure is just over 10 years. And having such a strong workforce who's been with our organization for so long really protects and is what delivers the service that our members expect from us, because they are generally speaking to an experienced, passionate professional that lives our brand through every service experience.
That's an incredible turnaround. And I honestly want to revisit that in a future podcast if we can, if you would like to come back. So, moving on from culture and expanding on the move of your whole headquarters, it seems like at the same time you decided, wait, that's not hard enough. Let's rebrand or rename our branches to financial service centers. Why did you do that?
The pandemic was a time that we really took a look at ourselves as an organization and looking at our branches, like many credit unions, if not every credit union. Transactions during the pandemic took a pretty sharp downturn, and ours went down about 40%. They didn't go away, they didn't stop. Members continued to transact with us, but they flooded into our electronic delivery channels, and our branch traffic has remained pretty down since the pandemic. But we know our members, they want our branches when they have a hard problem or a more complex question than what's my checking account balance. And so we decided this was the perfect time to upskill our employees to meet the ever-changing needs of our members. And we know that financial literacy is one of the top desires of not only our members, but young adults in our community. I recently read that 86% of Americans do not consider themselves financially literate. And that is something we take very seriously at TruWest. So at the beginning of 2023, we embarked on a journey to certify every financial service center employee as a certified financial counselor so that we can invite members in to ask questions about financial literacy, to set a savings goal to purchase their first house, to repair their credit, to applying for their first credit card, to creating an emergency savings fund. We invite the members to come and talk to us one-on-one if they choose, as an enhanced financial literacy outlet for our members.
I love this trend. It's happening a little bit more around the industry, but I am thrilled that you all went that route with your branch employees. I just think, and this has been brought up in in past episodes, staff for what you want to have happen, and that's what you all are focused on. So let's talk about the network of financial service centers that you have. You have 11. And in your job as a chief experience officer, what are your goals for those 11 locations? What are your big, broad goals?
To document how we can improve our members who come to us for financial literacy or financial wellness. Now we're being and developing tracking so that we can really measure the impact and prove the value back to the organization for this significant investment that we're making. Are we moving the needle? Are we empowering our members to be stronger consumers and allowing them to get even better loan rates, higher deposit rates, because they're that financially strong consumer?
So let's talk then about the challenges on that side. It sounds like you have really laid out your very specific goals, but what are the challenges you're facing with those financial service centers?
Traffic in the service centers has been down since COVID. So we're at the beginning of a journey to advertise into the community. These service centers, we're still here, but now we can do more for you and get more engagement, get more traffic into the branches so that we can create demand for financial wellness with our members and with our community. One of the early things that we're doing to get traffic to come see us for financial coaching is having free educational events on the weekends and inviting people in for a variety of topics. And they can come and they can bring their friends or their family or their neighbors and just come and get a sound bite, maybe an hour about a topic. And then if it's something that they'd like to spend more time and develop a more personal plan for whatever topic they're working on, they have the ability to do that in an environment that they've test drove, if you will. They came and they heard it meant something to them and they want to learn more. And we can do that in a personalized way with them.
And you should also offer covered parking.
And covered parking with lots of natural light.
Great. So for those credit union leaders out there who are actually thinking about or in the middle of creating new spaces like you have done, and I really love this story, but what would your advice be for those leaders out there who are in the middle of this or thinking about it in creating the spaces for employees, for members?
I would strongly advise to create enough of a runway that you can create teams of experts and survey your workforce, survey employees of what is most important to them. Give yourself the time to digest it, ask any follow-up questions, and go through as many iterations of your space plan and your vision for the space plan until you're thrilled with it. It is no small undertaking to move the family to a new neighborhood and a new house. And it's not something you want to do. I wouldn't imagine every 5-10 years. So do yourself the favor of having a nice runway up front so that you can really invest the time to identify the biggest needs and try and meet those needs so that you can stay in your new home until there's a new generation to take over and design the next home.
Thank you for that. I really enjoy your genuine enthusiasm behind everything you're saying. I can feel it and I love it. And I don't ask this question enough of people, but what makes you happy about what you're doing at TruWest?
That's an easy one. So I've been with TruWest 18 years now, and I have the honor and privilege to work with just some of the coolest professionals I've ever known. And throughout the organization, it's a true joy to have passionate professionals that want to make our credit union the best that we can make it, that want to serve the members, that are just, we're all doing the same thing. And a variety of perspectives and voices just make every day a true joy at the organization.
Fantastic. Okay, Jennifer, we're going to move on to the final segment, which is all about you. And I'm going to ask you some fun questions here. First up, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Arizona.
Okay. As a kid in school, did you go to public school?
I did go to public school in Mesa.
Mesa. Okay. At school, what was your favorite piece of equipment on the playground?
That's a tough one. I don't know if I could pick one, so I'm going to give you two. I loved tetherball. I just absolutely think tetherball is one of the greatest games for kids. And then when my friends and I got tired of tetherball, they don't make them anymore because I'm confident too many kids broke their arms off of these things. But they were these half dome metal jungle gyms, and they were metal. So in the summer, you were guaranteed to get a 3rd-degree burn. And there was always the risk of falling off and breaking your arm. And just getting to the top of that thing and hanging out there was so fun.
Hang upside down, all of it.
Yeah.
That tetherball, you nailed it. Love it. Oh, that's great. Okay. Next question. Of the following Jennifers, and I want to add to this, you can pick what decade you want this to apply to, but of the following Jennifers, who would you want to be friends with? Jennifer Grey, Jennifer Aniston, Jennifer Garner, Jennifer Hudson, or Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Jennifer Aniston.
Okay. Why?
Decade. I have to think about that. But Jennifer Aniston, I love her on the weekends. She's a jeans and t-shirt kind of girl. But during the week, she's all business. And I really respect that. Decade, I mean, certainly her Friends era was a ton of fun. And I think she'd be a hoot to have coffee with. But I recently watched her in the morning show, and I would have a glass of wine with that one as well.
Great. What is the best thing about Arizona?
Arizona has the best sunsets ever. And our winters are pretty fantastic.
What's the worst thing?
We have two worst things. I think our summers, particularly this last summer, was pretty rough. I don't know if you know, we did break a record for the longest number of days with our temperature above 110. That was really a rough 30 days. And on the flip side, nobody in this state knows how to drive when it rains. Like, we just shut down. Don't leave your house. Stay home. If there's water, nobody knows what to do.
I would add scorpions, but that's a good call too in the rain.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the last movie you watched?
I actually went to a movie theater to see this one, which I can't remember the last time I did that. My husband and I, we went and saw Napoleon.
Oh, okay. Would you recommend it?
I would, if you're into Joaquin Phoenix and his characters, yes, I absolutely recommend it. I thought they did a great job just showcasing a bit of Napoleon's personality, or what we would interpret his personality to be, beyond the general that I think history knows. So yes, I would recommend it.
Love it. And going back to the French accent, I believe they abandoned that for the movie.
They did.
What was your first album, cassette CD you ever bought?
I don't know that I bought it, or maybe borrowed it long term from my family. I think it was Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet.
Great. Solid pick. You know what? They're making a documentary about that whole era of
Are
Bon
they
Jovi.
really?
They are. I just read about it this morning.
Oh, fantastic.
I love that. Thank you. Oh, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Jennifer Kimmell. She is not only a Bon Jovi fan, but she is also Senior Vice President and Chief Experience Officer with TruWest Credit Union. Jennifer, thank you for sharing your time and brain with us today.
Oh, my absolute pleasure, Michael. Thank you for your time and chatting. I had an absolute blast.
I did too, and thank you. And also, for our listeners, please subscribe to Shared Accounts with CU Times anywhere you get or listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, whatever. You know how it works. If you want to give us a rating, we'd love that too. For those of you with questions or comments, feel free to email me over at mogden@cutimes.com. Also, if you want more data-driven details on credit union branches, subscribe to our executive briefing, where you will get exclusive editorial nerdy analysis on that and other big issues each month emailed directly to you. Thank you so much to our producer, Zach Nyheisel. Join us again next week as we leave the warmer West for the freezing landscape of New England to talk about retail branch networks. And we'll ask the questions: what's the monthly heating bill for a credit union branch in New Hampshire? And should branches serve lobster rolls? Until then, stay warm. Thanks for listening.